Welcome to First and 15, the show that takes you around the UK flag football scene. Sponsored by Nuola, your customised sportswear supplier.
We are live with another OFL show, and this week we are joined by, obviously we've got the boss man himself, Jordan. How are we doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks very much. How are you all doing?
Not bad. We've got this. I think this is the first appearance of a Wolves player on the show. So
hello.
Start with the QB and work our way down. That's how we'll do it. And so James, you're doing your NFL draft tonight as we're doing this show.
Yeah, I've got the Wolves fantasy draft going on at the moment, so I'm just keeping a weather eye on it.
And you can tell by the way that Dan is furiously flicking between two. I'm not sure how many screens he's got going there.
My fourth round pick's about to come up.
So we'll try and keep you updated on how the picks are going, and while we try and also talk about some of the flag football. Last week was the penultimate week of the season. Jordan, how did you find your team went?
It was a tough game week. We only had 2 games, and but obviously the Wolves game was a nail biter as usual. And then the Raccoons game was a difficult one as well. Obviously, we managed to pull out the 2 wins. A few injuries along the way, but it was. I'm pretty happy with how things went.
James, obviously, he's mentioned your game. Were you happy with the rest of the games?
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely very happy with the rest of the games. I mean, overall, we were super happy that over 3 games, our defense scored more points than they conceded, which was absolutely amazing. We were very happy with that. Yeah, the games against Gunslingers, we've always, as Jordan will know, we've always had great games against the Gunslingers. They've always been close. They've always been a lot of fun. And actually, I think at least in my time in the Wolves, we have yet to win one. So I'm still hopeful. But it was good games, good game day, and a lot of fun.
Dan, steam back to winning ways. I've got to be happy with that one then.
Bounce back ability. Yeah, it was a good day. We were obviously absolutely horrendous the game day before, and
nothing else to say, really, is there?
Turn things around. I think we flushed our heads a bit. Had a chat with the boys before. Just go back to enjoying it.
So I think Dan's NFL draft has taken a bit of his bandwidth there. He's dropping it out. So let's have a quick look run through the scores. So the Raccoons beat the Panthers. Less controversial this time. It was 38-28. Steam managed to push through the Pistons 40-6. Then with the Panthers 39-12. Wolves, you had a great game against the Spartan Raiders. Well, I think we've lost that. I think you might be coming back in a minute. 41-0. And then the Titans just scraped past the Pistons 12-7. I'm trying to look at the other close games we've got. The Wolves Gunslingers game, which was filmed, 12-6.
That's offensively tough game. 2 pick sixes from pick 6 for both defenses, and then just stop after stop from the defense, and it's quite demoralising as an offensive player, to be honest. Just couldn't get anything going at all. So
it was definitely a defensive slog day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that I noticed, and something that one of the comments on the Facebook on the YouTube channel was that the play was going great, apart from the receiver's ability to catch. That was, I mean, James, obviously you're happy with this comment maybe, but there were so many times where you saw the ball was hitting the receivers in the hands, and then it would just fell to the floor afterwards. It's got to be as a quarterback, that's got to be one of the worst things to see.
Yeah, you know what? It was so uncharacteristic of everyone of all of our offensive players. We had some drops. There were also some missed throws. Like I think you see a lot of them where it hit them in the hands, but they'd had to rotate 270 degrees to get it to their hands in the first place. So it wasn't always the catching rather than the throwing that was doing it. Yeah, like for us, for the Wolves, a lot of our game is being able to push people deep, and actually those are much more 50-50 balls than those kind of short completions. And actually, sometimes you hit on them and sometimes you don't. And I think partly it was the first game of the day as well. I think if we, to be honest, Jordan, I think if we'd played you in the second or third game, we probably would have hit on more of those, and I reckon we might have ended up with a different score. But yeah, it's always difficult if you don't have a huge amount of time to warm up on those kind of things. But yeah, it was like I said, very uncharacteristic for all of the receivers. I think it's just one of those days.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell you're a team QB there. Not like it wasn't a case of it was definitely my receiver's fault.
Throw everyone under the bus.
Let's have a quick look at the highlights from the last week's. Starting off with the Raccoons-Panthers game. The last game was a controversial finished with the last play being replayed. But we do have this great long ball. Mishak, in his rookie season. And it's not very often that you see Tyler being beaten deep. I think there's a miscommunication somewhere in that defense, but
Hot window throw. You still got to drop it in the basket. So
yeah,
great airplane celebration as well at the end there. Though have a lot of time for that.
I mean, you've got another celebration as well. There we go.
Oh, fantastic.
Dan Richardson. This one is. I think this is the touchdown to bring it back. You see him cutting across. I think he's playing slot right on this one, coming across the middle of the field. In a similar thing, basically, just dropping it just over the top. But then we have the more impressive extra point. And this was a great cutback on his part. You see him coming across on the right-hand side.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Look at that.
Catch.
One for the cameras, that is.
See, there's a receiver doing a 270-degree turn and making the catch. You saw the transfer details on that one.
I'll show this one to the fellas at training next week. It'll be a how it's done type thing.
This is what you do. There we go. I'm trying to think if we've got any more highlights from this game. Cara Jackson's had a great season this season. Obviously, I messaged a few people about this one when it comes to team of the week and things like that. And Jordan, I messaged you, and you could see where I was going with this one, but you managed to take an unbiased position on this one. The best people to blitz against.
Yeah, I think. To be fair, Mishak is a slippery character, as I found out when we played the Raccoons, and I was blitzing. To pick up a sack against someone like that, you've got to have your eye in, and I didn't register one against Mishak because he threw me through the loop a few times. But definitely that's a big sack against a slippery guy.
And I think I know. So this is another great catch on the back of the end zone. One to show off at the Wolves training. Tyler playing receiver on the right-hand side. Somehow making a catch on that one.
I was walking over to check the score at that point, and that was close. That was.
I mean, it's one of those ones to keep an eye on the ball, but also to keep the eye on the corner of the field to work out where you are.
Yeah.
And then this one, so as you can see from the clock, it was the half was about to finish. So there's about 7 seconds left. The clock is not always completely accurate on this. And they've just got the ball back. If you've got these receivers out on the field, obviously you've got Sam and Lawrence on the right-hand side who've had a great season. But then you've got that middleman of Luke playing centre. So this was from the 5-yard line.
So
he's just so slippery. He's just so hard to tackle.
Yeah, that's where you want all the defenders swarming at the sack, swarming together on that soon as the ball's out, the communication's got to be there, run, especially just before the half as well. You've got to get that tackle.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's such a momentum shifter as well. Like at the end of the half, to go into the half with something like that is just, it shifts momentum so much.
So yeah, just before he scored, it was 13-21. So in favour of the Panthers, they did have a nice lead, which was then pulled back. But yeah, finished off 38-28. Raccoons coming back in the second half. We go to the second game of the day. Sorry, James, we have to show this one.
It's all right, mate. Let's dissect it.
I'm hoping I spelt his name right. I did slowly copy that off there.
I think it's right, to be fair.
I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but I think it's spelt right. I mean, Jordan had a slight hand in one of these, I think. That was the opening play, I think, or one of the first drive at least.
Believe it or not, he's played 3 games of flag in his life. Still doesn't know the rules. So that was pretty. I was pretty impressed with his performance in that game against a tough team, and he really he picked up another one as well. I think a little bit later on, and so I think he was over the moon with his performance. Game. It
was definitely a lofty throw, and to be fair, he does a great job of like tipping it to himself. Basically, it's absolutely fantastic. I think then the second one that we're about to see is the one that Jordan, you have a little bit of a sneaky hand in this one. I'm hoping we see some of the highlights a bit earlier on where you try and get the sack and end up on your ass, but I guess we'll see.
Unfortunately, so that was his first one. That was a one-handed catch and back down to himself. The second one is the one that Jordan, you had a hand in just to deflect it. But concentration on the ball there. A tip ball is the worst. Like when you see like 4 people going for it, that's the one of the worst ones. Dan, how's the draft going?
Can you see me again? Am I back? Am I actually back?
Yeah, you're in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you dropped out a few times, but you're back in now.
Yeah, the bandwidth I'm taking up with about 6 different screens of ADPs and drafts and all these different bits. It's not worked in my favour. And I live in the sticks as well, so like I get about 3 meg of internet at best.
Love that.
But we're here.
So, any updates on your draft or James's draft?
Yeah, mine's going fairly well. I'm coming into the 6th round. I've got Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Calvin Ridley, CeeDee Lamb, and Keenan Allen. So it's been a pretty solid start. So I'm not complaining. I'm just eyeing up if I'm going to manage to get Kyler Murray. There's a bit of a run going on quarterbacks now. So, but enough of that. I'm confident. I only need 5 picks. I'm going for the 3rd year in a row, so we're all right.
I, on the other hand, am not feeling quite so confident. So I missed one of the picks watching some of these highlights on here. So I've ended up with Derrick Henry. I'm quite happy with was the choice, but then picked up AJ Brown as well, unfortunately. So I'm banging on the Tennessee Titans to play well this year.
So you've got Ryan's watching.
Oh, college. He's just piped up because he doesn't want to play in our Steam. We were going to do a Steam one, and he doesn't want to play because we're not drafting defensive players. Which is just pointless. It's because he thinks he's turned into a linebacker after his pick 6 last week.
I mean, you mentioned that. That was his first comment for this show. I love the Steam Pistons game was his pick 6. There we go. We have one more highlight, and this one was I think the referees weren't exactly sure.
I mean, it's an amazing job from McIntyre, aka Legolas. Like to see the ball, see it come up and grab it, and I think that puts him now at 4 defensive TDs, which I think puts him top of the league in defensive TDs at the moment. But yeah, like he's done an amazing job of picking that up, I have to say.
Yeah, I think he got one late in the game as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And to be fair, he has to be one of my favourite players this season. defensively. He is solid. Like anywhere you go, he's there making the tackle, or he's batting it down, or he's grabbing the pick. He seems to be everywhere on that defense. And I think he's just one of, a number of decent defenders you guys have got. Especially like you said, you only conceded 12 points. What was it, last game day out of 3 games?
And 6 of them were a pick 6.
Yeah. So that's just testament to how good you guys are playing on D.
But I mean, I think it was after the fifth or sixth rebound of that ball, and it was the referees as they McIntyre ran it back in, and the referees all kind of stood there and just slowly went, I think maybe. And there was a massive conversation about what was going on, and eventually it was a pick 6. But I managed to get sound back onto these ones now. But yeah, the final score 12-6. And then we do have the Raccoons Gunslingers game.
Oh no!
What are you worried about, Jordan?
I know what's coming. I know.
A great catch by Tommy Burwood.
No, later on.
Go and receive it down the right-hand side. Absolute fingertip catch, was great to watch.
Yeah,
I think the only downside of that one is that he did hobble off the pitch afterwards.
Yeah, he's pulled his hamstring, but he's telling me that he's playing next game day, and he's just going to take a load of paracetamol. So that's all I can wish for, really.
That is a silky catch, though, isn't it? Absolutely perfect timing.
Yeah, Shadrach McCook.
This is where he puts me on the backside.
Oh, amazing.
This is sense anymore.
You're just having a little nap there, are you, Jordan? Just got a bit tired, just decided to lay down, have a quick snooze while the play was going on.
Unbelievable. As soon as it went into his hands, I was like, this.
We have got another Shad one.
Is this putting me on my ass? I know. Classic. I love that.
See, this is what happens when I get too much time on my hands. And the amount of times I spent watching like Vines and TikToks and everything.
I'm looking forward to that going viral. There's a flag football memes in that somewhere, definitely.
I mean, I didn't realise that there's actually a flag football memes page.
Yeah.
And the only reason I found this out was because I think last OFL that was actually played, Pod made it. And there's a photo of him throwing with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
And
why Pod throwing a ball?
Memes. We were desperate that game day, I think.
I think the page was originally a creation of the Nottingham Honey Badgers. I'm not 100% certain, but I seem to remember it was them that started it up, and it kind of just grew from there a couple of years ago.
I'll be messaging them later on. They can share that video for me. But you did try and get your own back on, Chad, and a few plays later on.
I thought he was going to dump tackle you there. That'd have been incredible.
I mean, it was a slow motion one.
It was when the refs were like through the flags, and then
did they throw a flag? I was just saying, did they throw a flag on that?
And they went,
They
went, "Are you okay with that?" And I was like, no penalty. It was.
I think that's on you. He was set.
Yeah.
I think because you were talking about it afterwards, I'm sure you're both saying, like, Jordan, you're running towards him going, I can't get round him. I'm not too sure but I'm still going forwards.
Yeah.
And Shad just kind of stood there and went, I don't know what's going on, but you're not going forwards.
Yeah. So basically, I think I might have helped to sort of secure that victory because I knocked Shad's contact lens out, apparently.
To be honest, Jordan, I think you initiated the contact. Just looking at that, he is standing. He's got his right of place, and you just decide to run into him, and he bear hugs you. I'm not. Yeah, he does. He's
I
standing
think he's been quite friendly there, to be fair, Shad.
Yeah, I think if he hadn't put you on the ground, I think it would have been a flag on you, to be honest.
Yeah, it's because I move at such a slow pace these days that I think they were being a bit generous to me.
Do we have an unnecessary roughness penalty for a non-contact sport?
I mean, could we add on to the first play of the next game?
Yeah.
Whoever you're playing, the first point is just instant 10-yard penalty.
Fine, it's fine. I'm not playing on offense next game day, so that would be my teammates' problem.
But that is our highlights for that one. We've got, so do you want to go straight? We'll go into predictions now, so we can get these ones done. I've already got pods in there. But Jordan,
I'll send you mine.
you may have done. It may have got lost in a few messages. I'll be honest on that one.
So I've been peppering you.
But let's work our way down the list. It's Pistons versus the Outlaw Gunslingers. Jordan, let's get your vote out of the way.
You know what? They ran us close last time. We scored on the throw off, and then it was a tough game, and they had, they got to the point where they were playing Jay Alexander just standing there as a presence because they didn't have enough players, and it came down to a 3-point at the end to tie the game, and it was dropped to the back of the end zone. But so it ran us close, but sort of with a fresh team, we've got Nathan back. I'm picking us to pick that one up.
James, what's your view on this one?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the one that I think is going to be the upset of the week, really. So I could definitely see Gunslingers taking this one. I mean, Pistons have, having played Pistons a couple of times now, I think they've come in leaps and bounds since they started at the beginning of the year. But they've obviously had a lot of injuries, as Jordan said. Gunslingers have had, I think last time you guys played, you had a lot of injuries, and they've obviously brought a lot of people back. I think this is Gunslingers one as well.
Dan, you going to agree with this one?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. No, it's, I mean, obviously, you've got the Gunslingers, they're just kind of firepower. Like James has just said, the Pistons, they have come on leaps and bounds. Our score probably says different from the last game day, but they're a lot more competitive. There's a lot more kind of different looks about them. They were kind of very one-dimensional before. There's got a few different looks. And they were struggling for players last time round as well, if I remember. They didn't have Jay Alexander. They didn't have, I forget her name now, the centre. It was on the show before.
Yeah, Helen,
huh?
I think
Helen, that's it. Yeah, sorry, Helen.
Way through.
Helen wasn't there last time. And do you know what? They were still really competitive. But I just think it's going to be a Gunslingers win. I think they're going to fire all the way in now. I don't think they'll drop another game.
So you mentioned Helen. This is something that you messaged me about during the week, and it may be an OFL first as well. The first time that a mother and son have played on the same pitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
I'm going to say it's definitely a first.
Yeah, it's definitely a first.
It's an OFL first, and as I put it out there into the first and 15 page, there's a few talks about father and son playing on the same pitch. Obviously, you've got Andrew and Luke have played quite a few times and things like that, so that may be out of the one. But maybe the first time that a mother and daughter have played on the same flag football pitch anywhere. So this could be a complete first.
That's what we do at the OFL. Just flag football first, creating history.
So this should be a good one. Next game we've got is Outlaw Gunslingers against the Steam. So, Jordan, let's go for you first.
Last game it was very, very close one, 27-26 to the Steam. I heard rumours that shorthand game day. Don't know whether that's them getting into my head, but I always said that they would beat us the first top round, and we.
No, it's not.
Return leg. So if they're short-handed, I know Dan Spence is a machine and he's going to pick up some scores anyway. But yeah, I'm going to take us for the return leg. I've always said that it will be 1-1 with us two.
So we'll go Dan, try and get this one out of the way to make it an even split.
Yeah, it's not going to be an even split. I'm going to agree with George. We are struggling big time. It's just a good job we've won as many games as we have so far, because we are going to struggle to pick up any wins next game day. And that's no discredit to the guys that we've got, but I think we're probably going to have 5, maybe 6 max, and 3 of those are rookies who have come in and done a great job. But when we're playing the Gunslingers, Werewolves and Rugby Raccoons, your slate doesn't get much harder than that for a game day. So we're going to have to get up to some trickery at training, or rob Jordan's little black book of telephone numbers for different Baffa players, I think. But yeah, I think, you know what, we're always competitive. I don't think we've ever really been blown out, no matter what team we've got. But I just don't think we're going to have the firepower to keep up with them guys next time round.
I mean, you say you pinching Jordan's contact book, but a lot of some of the teams will be there, so you may be able to just wander over to other pitches and grab hold of other players and see who's available.
It's not a bad shout.
Otherwise, I hear Tim Tebow's looking for a job. Dan, if you want to give him a call.
Yeah. We're good at tight end.
Good at tight end.
James, what's your view on this one then?
He's right.
I mean, I think to be honest, I would have been very close anyway. I think, having heard what Dan said, and also given that as you know, as Wolves, we're obviously trying to vying for that second place spot in the table. So I'm going to go with what I want to happen. I'm going to go with Gunslingers actually. Just if nothing else, so that we can keep our second place spot. No disrespect to Steam, but yeah, it sounds like you guys have been a bit gutted. To be honest, it sounds like it's going to be quite a tough game day for you guys. But yeah.
I mean, so far that's 5 votes gone across. Sorry, 10 votes gone across. Pistons versus OGs and OGs versus Steam. All 10 votes have gone to the OGs so far. So it could be a nice, easy day for you.
Then I got to run 2 tournaments. So,
so that's like the OG Steam is the clash of like the 2 of the top 3 teams. We go down to the other end of the table, and it's Raiders versus Pistons. James, I'm going to go to you first.
I'm actually not sure. I don't know. So there is I don't know what his name is. There's a guy who plays for the Raiders that it was an absolute force at the first couple of game days, and he wasn't there when we played them on this last game day. Which isn't very helpful given I can't remember his name. But I don't know if it's that he's kind of not coming back or what's happening. But I mean, they're obviously, you know, both teams that have come on, as I said, leaps and bounds from the beginning of the season. I think even though Pistons have been a bit more kind of decimated by injury, I think that they've just got a bit more firepower on them. To be honest, I think that will be a high scoring game. But I think Pistons will take it.
Pistons on that one. So I've gone the other way. I've gone Raiders to win this one. The last game was a draw, and it's basically they're both top bottom of the table with the 1 draw is the only positive result so far. I think that the Raiders may just swing this one. Jordan, what's your view?
Yeah, I mean, they were short-handed last game day. I know their head coach, who's a player for them, had to leave because he had a cricket match. But if they can get their old QB back, Jamie Bates, and Tom Mills, their receiver, I think they'll take the win. I think obviously last time it was close. I think they've got 3 games that they can really challenge in this game day. So I've got the Raiders winning it.
Dan, what about you? Raiders, Pistons.
It's going to be close. The first one was a tie, you said, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they've both gone on leaps and bounds. I've reffed quite a lot of the Raiders games, and they always seem to be in it until the last 4 or 5 minutes, and against some pretty decent teams as well. And then you've got the Pistons who are coming on leaps and bounds. I think the Raiders might edge us though, and get their first victory on the board. Like I say, they've hung around in some games. There's some games that I've reffed that actually they probably should have won, other than some kind of late turnovers and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to chuck my hat in the ring for a Raiders first win.
Can I change my throw and go to another tie?
I'll put you down for the draw.
Put me down for another draw. What are the odds on that?
You'd have to speak to the commissioner about any gambling in this league. I'm not too sure how it works.
Yeah, I'm currently setting up a syndicate in it, so I'll let you know.
That's Jordan.
We've got another Raiders game. This time it's the Raiders-Panthers. Dan, we'll go to you first on this one.
Last time I was on, I was bigging up the Panthers, saying about how they can just keep scoring. I just don't get how if they got like 3 wins, 4 wins. Again, I think they're like the Raiders. They're always in it, but then just drop off. But the firepower they've got, I'm going to have to go the Panthers. I'm going to say on one day, and they will win. But I'm just quite surprised with the amount of wins that they've actually got. I thought they'd have had more by now. We obviously know the link up they've got between Mason and Frank. I think they might just try to get a sneaky place in the playoffs, trying to wrangle it, so they're not showing their true potential. But yeah, I'm going to go for a Panthers win in that.
James, what about you?
Yeah, the same as Dan, Panthers for the same reason. I mean, one of the things that you love to see about the teams that really know what they're doing is they get the ball into the hands of their best players, and they've got they're just so creative with how they get the ball into Mason's hands, and he's just shown by the number of touchdowns he's putting up. So yeah, I think just offensively that firepower is going to overwhelm them, and yeah, it's going to be Panthers.
Jordan, you going to agree with this one?
Yeah, I've got the Panthers as well, and I agree with Dan. I don't understand how Panthers have only got 3 wins. I know they've been close in games. We've seen them lead against Raccoons. They've been in these close games, and they just haven't been able to finish teams off. And yeah, it would be nice to see them sort of have a run of games really where they sort of put their foot down really and show the power they've got.
So I'm just looking at the league table here. They are currently in 5th with a 3-8 record. But I think when we looked at it before that, I think there was one score in 3 different games that would have changed it completely. So they could have been on like a 6-2 record. It should have been completely different way around. But it's how it goes on the field. Raiders again, and this time they're playing the Titans. Jordan, we'll go to you first.
I've got the Titans winning this one. Last time it was a close game, 27-19, I think it was, to the Titans, and they were quite short-handed. I think they should have more players back this game day, and I think obviously no Titans Blue members this time because they'll be playing at the same time. But I know they'll be back with their full Titans White squad, so I've got them winning that one.
James, how do you see this one going?
Yeah, Titans again. For me, I think that Adam, the QB for the Titans, I think he's just really on point. He's a very accurate passer. He makes a lot of good decisions, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. To be honest, I think he's going to be the difference maker in this one.
And Dan, we're going for a clean sweep on this one, Titans Raiders.
Yeah, I think it'll be close again. Raiders are getting there. I think they'll get their first win in that first one that we said, but then I think close one, but I think they might just get edged out in this one against the Titans, no matter who they kind of turn up with. I think Jordan's just said, I was paying attention. I've just realised I've got no tight end and all the tight ends are gone and I'm in round 9. So I'm just letting that slide now. But yeah, I think George just said the Titan Blue guys aren't going to be able to play because they're playing in the tournament across the way. But still, I think they might still just have a bit too much, the Titans.
So the next game we've got, it was one of the Steam's first loss this season. It's Raccoon Steam, the repeat. Dan, we're going to go to you first on this one.
Well, I've put us down for 3 losses already for next game week. But if we can pull our head out of the proverbial You guys didn't do. Well, I say you guys. The Raccoons didn't do that. I think they run one or two plays, and we couldn't figure out what it was until the second half. And then when we kind of readjusted in the second half, we got our heads around it. I'm going to be playing on D, so they'll probably just run past me still. I'm going to give it to the Raccoons. They thoroughly outplayed us in the first game. It wasn't until kind of 5 minutes into the second half that we kind of got a small idea of what was going on and started to claw our way back in. But they're a sneaky bunch. Very.
I mean, lost them on that one.
Bunch, and I think they're going.
So I mean, we have said this before. When the Raccoons first started, we were a rookie team with over 100 years' experience. So it may be worth putting maybe like digging into the back of the. I think you've just been dropped, Dan.
I'm on the trading block. Get in there.
See, there you go. You're now for this episode. You're basically just pod.
Yeah, I might not get underthrown now if I change trade teams.
You might be worth a seventh round pick in a trade, Dan. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'd like to put in an offer of a pack of ups and 7 pints of Dan Spence, please.
You owe me a pint from last time we were on here.
Yeah.
We're not playing that game again, are we?
No, there's no games today. I'm not the best guest, am I? I play games with England football songs or do fantasy football drafts.
I still haven't listened back to that one and worked how you managed to get it like 8 all or something. I had like 2 lyrics between you and that was it.
We re-listened and Dan absolutely wiped the floor with me.
Yeah.
So there we go. Jordan, Steam Raccoons. Who have you got for this one?
So, because obviously the team are short-handed, I think this is the game that they could win, just because obviously it's the start of the day. It's when they're going to be the freshest. But I have got Raccoons beating the Steam. I think Raccoons, they've got such a good style of play, like such slippery characters, like really good hands on the receiver as well. So they can do it short and long now as well. So I've got Raccoons in this one.
James, where are you going?
Yeah, to be honest, I think Raccoons as well. It's a good point that it is the first. I think because it's the first game of the day. I think for both teams, or at least for Steam, it's going to they'll be as fresh as they will be. But I think if what Dan's saying, and they've only got 5, Raccoons show up with a squad of 106 or something, and just like rotate people through every single play, and that just makes a difference, being able to rotate people off. So I think maybe the first half might be close, but I think that depth is really going to show in the second half, and I think. Because the thing about Raccoons is you need to be fresh and you need to be 100% because missed tackles absolutely kills you against the Raccoons. And it's just that, like, if you're feeling a bit of fatigue, then you just miss it.
You get put on your back when you're tired.
So next game it's another Raccoons one. This time they're against the Wolves. So James, we're going to go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say the Wolves all over. Like the Gunslingers is the only team that we've lost to so far this season, which we're pretty happy about. And I think that will continue. I think it'll be a close game. I really like the Raccoons game. I like what they do on D. I think it's very good. It's very effective. But I think we managed to figure them out in the second half of the last game that we played against them, even though it was still very close. I think it was a 2019 win, so it was a very, very close game. But yeah, I think we'll take them in this one.
Dan, who are you going for? Raccoons, Wolves?
I think Wolves are probably best positioned to take on the Raccoons, just the way that both teams play. So I'm going to go for the Wolves. I just think they've got one of the better Ds in the league. They very, very rarely miss a tackle. Quick blitzing, they're in your face. So yeah, all those things taken into account. It's going to be a close one again, but I think it's going to be one that the Wolves will nick.
Jordan, which one are you going for?
I'm going to go for the Wolves, but I'm predicting there's going to be 8 one-score games out of 11 games. game day. And I think this is going to be one as well.
Not a bad one on that one. Last Raccoons game of the day in this one. It's the Raccoons versus the Titans. Jordan, we'll go to you first for this one.
I have got the Raccoons. When they played each other last game day, I think it was. And obviously Titans started off, or no, it might have been the one before, but the Titans started off really well, but they had some sort of big score Titans blue players, which they're not going to have this time. So yeah, I've got the Raccoons in this one.
So look back, the last score was 28-20 in favour of the Raccoons.
Okay.
So,
Well, for some reason I thought it was more than that.
James, who are you going for?
I do think this one will be close. I think, like we said, the fact that there's no Titans blue players on is obviously going to help. It's obviously going to hurt them. I think this one could be the upset of the day for me. I think I'm actually going to go with Titans. I think that it's the last game day. I think they're obviously pushing for the highest finish that they can, and it's still, that bottom half of the table is still looking relatively competitive with them and the Panthers. So yeah, I'm going to call Titans to pull this one out actually.
And Dan, last vote for this one: Raccoons, Titans.
Raccoons. Just based on everything I've ever said against them, they're slippery little buggers, and they are going to rack up a lot of touchdowns in that game. And I think it'll be without doing any kind of misjustice or disrespect. I think they are going to harpoon them.
There we go. So we're going back for a Wolves game this one. So we'll get James one out of the way. It's Wolves versus Steam.
Again, I think it's going to be the Wolves. Like as we said, I love playing Raccoons. I love playing Steam, and I think in the time that I've been playing for Wolves, we've played both teams 3 times, and I think we've won 2 and lost 1, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah, I think from what we possibly aren't going to have quite as packed a squad as we have done previously. But I think playing up towards the end of the day, if Steam are depleted, and I think it's going to be a high scoring game, that one actually. Unlike a lot of the others, I think we'll be relying on Callum Norton a lot as a receiver. But yeah, I'm going to go Wolves on that one as well.
Dan, we're going to go to you for this one. I would like to point out that the Titans have also put in a bid for you as well.
Get it. What's that for? How many pints is that?
Oh no, he just says they're going to take you. That was it.
I think Jordan.
Got to speak to the man's heart. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Shorts, bags, pints, and shorts. Yeah, I do. We know we're short. How boring are Leighton Steam versus Werewolves games? I think on aggregate over about 4 or 5 games, it's about 21-17. It is so boring.
We did have a game way back when, I think, that was like 41-38 or something. I think it was like one of the first ones I played against you. But yeah, since then they've always been low scoring affairs.
First one of Baffer a couple of years ago, I think, wasn't it? The first time that we played you. And then ever since then it's just been terrible on the eye. Like when you go and watch Saturday afternoon football or Sunday morning pub league football, and you're just like, this is terrible. What am I doing with my life? That is what Werewolves against Steam is. But it's going to be more entertaining this time because of obviously what's going on with the teams. And yeah, I'm going to go Were again. So 0-3 for Steam for the day. Any win that we get is going to be a bonus. And every win that we get, every team member that's there on my team, I will buy a pint for each win.
Wow. Dan, if you want it to be a more interesting game, feel free to just let a few receivers run by you on there. If you want a bit more of a high-scoring game, then please, by all means.
I don't let them. That's the worst thing. I don't really play D, but it's going to be, it's going to be interesting.
You might want to go down the Berkshire Renegades route and just start having the drinks before the games. I mean, they were one of their players. There was one of their players that was absolutely hammered at Panther Bowl, and he played in the final. They made all the way to the final, and he was getting worse and worse throughout the game. The last score was 7-6 in favour of the Wolves.
I've got 7-6 Wolves again.
Oh, he's going for a Wolves. So Pod has actually put you down to win this one. I've gone with the Wolves on this one. Pistons Panthers, the Coventry rivalry game. Let's go with Jordan first.
Oh, wait there. Wasn't expecting that. What was it?
There's only 2 games left. Pistons Panthers.
I don't know. Oh, I've got Panthers to beat Pistons. Yeah, I just think. I think obviously the Pistons and came from the Panthers, and I think that was expected to be more of like an even split. I feel like the Panthers have kind of sort of, taken sort of back. And I think Mason, Dan, if Dan can keep his head straight and not make any mistakes, I think they should be able to take the fairly.
Oh, that was a Panthers win. You were cutting out a little bit there.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, Panthers win.
We have trade news. Ryan Peacock's come in. Jordan, I don't know if you want to counter this one.
For Miller Lite, the low-ranking beer in my eyes, but I'll have a think about it.
So I'm hoping I get 10% for all the connections we're making on this one. Pistons Panthers, James, how's it going to go?
Panthers. I don't see this one being close, to be honest. Like, I think Panthers are just going to absolutely run away with it offensively.
There we go, nice simple one. Dan, I mean, you're losing your team on this one. Tom's already asking if you traded as well, but how do you think the Pistons Panthers?
That's because Tom wants to come with me. We come as a pair. Thunder and lightning, they call us. I don't know which is which. I'm going to go for the Panthers, chaps. Yeah, Panthers. They're just one of my favourite teams to watch, and they've got to start getting these wins on the board, and it's a perfect opportunity for them to do it. I don't think now it makes that much of an impact on what will be the top 4 and the bottom 4 in terms of the standings. Christ, if I've got no trade value, I'd love to see what Ryan's is. There we go, that's another story.
You may have been referring to Tom there on that one, so. Okay, so the last game we have, I've left this one till the end because it's currently, if we have a quick look at the league table, there's not too many positions that can actually change. I can update this one now. Let me share this with everybody. So there is the current league table. Gunslingers 11-1. Wolves, you may, depending on how results go, you may be able to sneak above them. But then you have the Steam narrowly behind you guys. The Raccoons, I think, are fairly safe in 8-3. And unless, Dan, you get it right and you do drop all 3 games. But the big one is obviously that when you look at the 5th and 6th, it's Panthers, Titans with 3 and 8 on the same one. They play each other. The Pistons and the Raiders play each other. So those ones, but yeah. So we've now got the Panthers versus the Titans. Both teams 3 and 8, currently lying in 5th and 6th. So I'll tell you what's good. So far, we've only got 2 votes in so far. One is I've gone for the Titans to win, and Pod's gone for the Panthers. So let's see if we can finish one off. Jordan, where are you going for this one?
Panthers obviously took the game last game day against the Titans. I've got this one going. I've always had this one going 1 as well. So I'm going to go for the Titans in this one.
Trying to quick look back to the results. It was, where's it gone? 46-27 in favour of the Panthers last time.
Yeah, Titans had 5, I think, or 6 last game day. It didn't have, and the thing with Titans, I think Adam's trying to find is he needs his Mason. He needs that outlet too. Last he had Chris Sutherland. But I think starting to have that weapon for him. But I think they need time together. So if we can get the ball in these hands, emulate the. I've got the Titans taking on.
So you said they need the Mason Reed for their team. Currently being traded is Dan. So Dan, Panthers Titans. Which way are we going?
Panthers again. I think I've just given Panthers 3 wins, so I'm going to have them double in their tally, their season-long tally in a week. But yeah, I just think they're going to be too strong. And it's not that they don't click. I think there's just potentially some lapses on the D on occasions. I think they're going to bring it all together this week and go 3-0.
Love it.
So that's 2 votes for the Panthers, 2 votes for the Titans. James, do you want to split this one?
I was going to go with another draw, but I won't. I will split it. I don't know. I think it'll. I actually really like this game. I think this will be a really good game to watch. I think I want to say Titans. I really do. Because I don't know. I think Titans are a great team and I love how they play. But to be honest, I think looking at how the season's gone over the course of the year, I think I'm going to have to go Panthers as well. Just again that connection to Mason. I just don't think the Titans are going to be able to keep up.
I mean, the only other vote. I'm thinking that this may be a slight a typo on Frank's one.
Bears.
I mean, I don't know if he's
wild animal dealer. That's what I want to know.
I mean, with Frank,
I think it's going to be Bears, is it?
Yeah, I'm thinking that. It sounds that way. Dan's just
there we go, Beers.
I think Dan's had 5 beers. That's.
He's sat in his bedroom counting out his teddy bears, going, "I've got 6 over there. I can get rid of 5 of them."
Imagine Dan Birch with the 2 top scoring receivers in the league. He's disposed. That's the deadly combo.
And he'd still run the ball, wouldn't he? And shout, what is it they shout when he runs? Leroy Jenkins. I don't understand what that is. But I chuckle to myself every time he runs. Everyone's like, Leroy Jenkins. So yeah, if you could let us know what that's all about, Frank, that'd be great.
I mean, I'm actually I feel fairly young right now because I actually know what that's about. So I'll share it with you later, Dad. Don't worry, we'll educate you.
Perfect.
But we do have the stats for this week. Still leading the passing touchdowns is Gary Rod with 55. And you mentioned there the receiving touchdowns of Mason. He's got 28 so far. Dan, you're rushing touchdowns. You've got 3 so far, same as Frank. You're doing all right on that one. At least it's not just a quarterback thing now. Jordan, you managed to stay on the extra points. I'm going by the League Republic stats. So I know you've messaged because I looked at this before that last week you were on 20 extra points. This week you're on 12.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I am on 12.
This is when you start filling the stats just to get in there now.
Hey, I'm not here for individual stats. It's to win a chip.
Throw off returns, we've still got 2 of those. 1 for Shad and 1 for Luke Madden. And then interceptions, Tom Childs got 15 so far.
He had one in that Pistons game, which was absolutely filthy. Just stuck in his hand, wanted like full reach and everything. Photo of it as well.
And this is the great one. So sacks, 7 for Luke Madden and 2 safeties, which sounds like an all right record to have over the season. How many games has Luke Madden played for you guys, Jordan?
He's played 7 games.
So he's averaging 1 sack a game. And then 2 safeties as well. Defensive touchdowns, you've already said there. McIntyre with 4 so far.
The best hair in the league.
Absolutely. The Legolas hair is what gives him his strength.
That's my dream hairdo.
Team of the week. And this has changed quite a bit because obviously, Jordan, you're not on there this week. for offensive team of the week. Mason is still on there.
The slow week for me offensively this week.
Bit of a backhanded one there to Jordan.
But Mason is still on there now. Well, that's his third week in out of 4 that he's managed to make it. You mentioned Lee Prickett at the Titans earlier on in the coverage. He's got 5 so far. Callum Norton with 6. Dan Spence with 8 touchdowns last week. And this is the first time that that Grindwide hasn't been the QB of the team of the week. Peacock overtaking there. He's got 15 from last week. But we do see Adam Grindwide on team of the week on defense. He's just taken over a different slot now. So that's every single week he's been in there. 2 interceptions. Tom Childs with his second appearance, and I got 5 interceptions from last week. And Greg Elliott of the Steam, 3 interceptions and 2 pick sixes. Who else we've got? We've got Chris Clayton of the Wolves picked up 4 sacks for you guys. And this is the one that I messaged a few people about because there was 3 people tied on 2 sacks. Georgian, you were one of them. And I did message around because we basically went by who had the tougher schedule. And as you said before, taking Meshach down for a sack is never an easy thing. So she just squeaked in there. And try to get that one gone. So we're looking at the standings now. So like I said before, Gunslingers, unless you have an absolutely terrible day and injure yourself in the first game, which is not unlikely with you guys.
Not out of the realms of possible there.
You may have managed to creep hold of this one. I mean, there's quite a lot of games here that sort of will determine that the rest of how the playoffs is going to look. So I think the top 3 play each other.
Yeah.
The bottom 3 play each other as well.
If Steam win out, they get the top spot.
Yeah, Danny. I mean, I don't know why I'm talking to Dan about the Steam. I think he's been traded to about 4 different teams.
Where am I currently? I'm in Coventry somewhere at the minute.
You're in Coventry for 5 bears. Yeah?
Sweet.
Steve's going to line up with 5 grizzly bears next game.
I was actually in Coventry today as well. I hope there's not like vicious rumours going around. Someone from AFL taking a few little snaps.
See, that's how you get the breaking news. You just admitted it yourself, haven't you?
Lesson 15 have a tabloid section. Just photos of Dan walking around Coventry accepting trade offers.
I'm sure with a bit of practice I could Photoshop Frank in the background and talking to you. But there we go. That's another show done. I'll ask one more question off you guys. Game of the week. Dan, let's go for you first. What's the game of the week for you for the OFL?
I'll be honest, I can't remember any of the games. I'm just looking, thinking, what's happened to me draft? It was all going so well and it's gone downhill.
Who did you get a tight end in the end?
That all gone. I've ended up with Noah Fant, and I'm going to have to take another one. I've just completely bodged it. There's a massive run on D going now. I completely forgot about everything, but it's all good. We've had a lovely time.
That's what.
But
matters. Game
of the week isn't going to involve the Steam. Normally I'd say Gunslingers Steam, like that. Always close game. There's always 1 or 2 points in it. Do you know what? No, stuff it. We're in this little man in my top right corner. We're in his head. We're going to turn up, and we're going to do. We're not going to do them over because I said we're going to lose. It's going to be a very close game. It's going to be very good.
So that's,
I'm still going for us.
OG Steam as game of the week for Dan. Jordan, what's your pick?
I'm going to go for the bottom of the table clash. Someone's going to end up winless, and someone's going to pick up their first win, and be sort of,
or it'll be another tie,
or it'll be. I'm thinking it's going to be in the 30s, both teams as well. Sort of like a 30. I don't even know if this works for scoring. 36, 32. Yeah. Raiders. So yeah, it'd be nice to see a win. If it's a tie, then I feel bad for them because that's the game that you want to get the win in. So, but yeah, so I'm with that one.
James, what's your pick?
I mean, not to put too much pressure on ourselves, but I actually think that the Wolves-Raccoons game could be the game of the week as well. I think both teams have got solid, reasonable squads and a lot to play for, a lot on the line. And I think the last score was 2019. So yeah, looking forward to having another crack at them. And I think that could be game of the week.
So I'm going middle of the table. I've got Panthers, Titans, the one that basically decides who goes into the fifth or sixth place on that one. So it's some great games. Obviously, there's been a slight reshuffle on the schedule, and thankfully, I think most of these games are actually played at different times, so we could be covering all 4 of these games. Hopefully, I'll remember my tripod because my arm was dead after the first game last week.
There's the spare just in case.
So I'm sure she's going to message in the week, but I do have to remind you about stopwatches, just in case. There we go. See.
Down.
And there we go. So last game of the week, last regular season of the season next week. Sorry, not next week. I'm miles ahead of myself. 26th. And hopefully we'll be covering a few of those guns, and we'll have some more coverage afterwards leading into the playoffs. So thank you once again.
Best thing is, you'll get to cover my first game in black and gold as well. And going against my own team, my ex-team of the team. That'll be fun.
The shirts are
Look forward to it.
So there we go. So last thing is, thank you both. Well, thank you all 3 of you for joining us. Hopefully it hasn't been too bad for Dan's draft. James, is your draft gone okay?
I have no idea, mate. I also picked the second half, to be honest. It was just too riveting what was happening here, to be honest. I always do terribly in the Wolves fantasy anyway, so I figured why not?
There we go. That's what we're here for, just ruining people's fantasy draft.
Can I interject? Obviously, if there's teams watching, get your votes in via the Google Forms link for Player of the Season, offense and defense, and because otherwise it would just be a pain in the backside collecting them all after next game day. So
I tried filling that spreadsheet in, Jordan, but every time I did, it just replaced whatever I said with Jordan Malay in every box.
Yes. Yeah, that means it's working.
Okay. Good.
You better hide the macros.
So there we go. That's the last one. Last regular season covered, and we will see you out there soon.
That wraps up this episode. Find us on Facebook at First and 15 Podcast. Give us a like to keep up with all of our shows. Also, check out our sponsor, Nuola, for all your customised sportswear supplies.